This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Manitoba government is making it easier for faith communities to protect their places of worship. A new fund will help religious and cultural institutes invest in security measures to try and prevent harmful incidents. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Swastikas were spray painted at the Sherazedic Synagogue in early January. Winnipeg police have since charged a 34-year-old man in connection with that incident and several others. The Manitoba government wants to stop things like that from happening and is putting up $1 million to help protect places like this from hate.
When somebody commits a hate crime, they're committing a crime against all of us as Manitobans. There is no place for hatred in our society.
The province says cultural groups and places of worship will be able to apply for money to support projects. The fund will also help organizations come up with security plans. Retired Winnipeg police officer Dave Dalal will lead a team that will review applications and conduct or oversee security assessments. They'll also give recommendations on where money goes.
Things like better lighting, more cameras, alarms, controlled entry, and training are all covered under this fund.
Sherazedic's executive director says they plan to apply.
We invested about $250,000 in infrastructures for security, and it would be wonderful if some of this money could be made available retroactive towards what we invested, but we also spend a lot of money in having security on site.
The synagogue's senior rabbi is also encouraged.
I'm really heartened by that opportunity to consult with individuals who do this professionally, and I really want us to not be alone in that, but rather working together with other faith communities.
Monday's announcement was also welcomed by the Manitoba Islamic Association.
Not all the mosques have sufficient camera, security systems and alarm system in place. So it will be very, very useful.
He also says stopping hate goes beyond money.
We are one people. We are one Manitoba. We are one community. We need to, stand together. We need to be united. And in this kind of situation, we need to step up and help each other.
The province says more information about eligibility and the application process for funding will be released in the coming weeks. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A 7-year-old Manitoba girl was sexually exploited on Snapchat. Law enforcement and child protection advocates say they're seeing more and more kids under the age of 13 being lured online. They want social media companies to do more to stop predators. A warning, some may find the details of this story disturbing. CBC I-Team reporter Michelle Allen has more.
A 7-year-old Manitoba girl was sexually exploited on Snapchat while just one room away from her mother, coerced into sending explicit photos and videos by a stranger. Her mother found pictures of the man's genitals on the phone. A victim that young might be shocking to some, not to Detective Sergeant Mike Olson.
Under 10, it used to be a surprise. Now I would say it's more common.
CBC obtained an RCMP production order requesting the Snapchat account data to try and track down who contacted the girl. Olson wasn't involved in this specific case, but has investigated many like it.
It's probably more just with kids that are spending more time. The more time on these devices, the higher the chance that these kind of things can happen.
Olson recommends supervising children whenever they're online, but he also says companies like Snapchat need to do more to prevent it. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection says it's received over 1,200 reports of children under 13 being lured online. The #1 platform, Snapchat.
They'll often refer to things like Instagram or Snapchat as a phone book for children because you can easily just find kids and perhaps send a friend request or perhaps kind of somehow get into their friend group.
Welcome to Snapchat's Family Center, your go-to hub for tools and resources to help.
Snapchat says users need to be 13 and up. It has some parental controls on teen accounts. Parents can see a week-long history of who their kids are chatting with.
In the same way parents can't see or hear their teens' everyday personal and private communications, parents won't be able to view their teens' conversations or snaps.
It's essentially designed to download responsibility onto the end user, and kids inside of these inherently dangerously designed environments, and the platforms somehow absolve themselves of responsibility.
Marcoux says parental supervision can only go so far. He says social media apps make money off people using them, including kids, and won't increase their security willingly. Unless Canada passes laws forcing them to meet safety codes, Marcoux says more Canadian children will be exploited. As for the case of the 7-year-old Manitoba girl, RCMP found the man in the United Kingdom. Now it's up to police there to investigate. Michelle Allen, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A shotgun pellet has been found in a power line that broke near Pimachikamak Cree Nation and led to water and sewage pipes freezing. Manitoba Hydro says shotgun pellet damage was found on an aerial marker, balls, and power lines in the northern community. Residents were left without heat in temperatures that dipped well below -20. Thousands were forced to evacuate. Hydro says it has not yet determined the cause of the outage. However, it says shooting at electrical infrastructure can shorten its life, cause outages, and create safety risks. The chief said last week it could take months to repair all the damages to homes and infrastructure. Well, if you've been paying attention to the price of gold, you've seen the increases. That's keeping one Winnipeg business very busy. CBC's Alana Cole has that story.
Gold maple leaf right now, $6,482 Canadian for purchasing 1 ounce. They come in tubes of 10 and boxes of 500 if you're a real high baller.
That's Jasmine Allen, Vice President of Gate West Coin. She says that same coin was about $4,000 last January. When it comes to gold, she says between the end of 2024 to the start of this year, she's seen record high prices.
I've been here since 2012. I've never seen anything like this run before. We've certainly had other peaks in 2012 when I first came in. We had another peak during COVID where we had some precious metals runs, but this is a lot.
Allen says gold hit $4,600 US per ounce this month. The increases have left people looking to sell.
So we've got a few different pieces here, typical of what we would see people bring in.
She says they used to see about 10 to 15 people a day. That's jumped to 30 or 40.
We've seen a lot of surprise, I'd say, from people coming in. They're expecting, maybe a few $100s, and they're leaving with $800, and they're like, I had no idea that it was going to be like this. I'm like, well, there you go.
What are the factors driving it? University of Manitoba professor Barry Prentice says a lot of countries kept their reserves in the form of the U.S. dollar, like U.S. bonds. But that's changing.
What we are seeing is, in part, governments around the world that are moving away from the U.S. dollar. I think they have less confidence in the U.S. dollar, and in some cases, like China, very much would like to reduce their exposure to the U.S. dollar. So they're trading those U.S. dollars for gold.
Allen says, along with selling, people are interested in purchasing too.
There's so much geopolitical instability. Precious metals is typically used as a safe haven. Generally, it does quite well when there's market instability.
How long it lasts? She says it's difficult to say what will happen in the short term. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, it is cold outside, and the cold weather is welcome news for many Manitobans as winter roads start to open for the season. Almost 1,000 kilometers of winter roads are now open, including one between Norway House and St. Teresa Point. The province operates almost 2,400 kilometers of winter roads every year. The roads are a vital transport link for many remote and northern communities. They're lifelines for many residents, allowing people in isolated communities to buy fuel, building materials, and food. People traveling on winter roads are asked not to park on them and to respect the weight limits. Okay, well, hopefully you've managed to stay warm this weekend, but this deep freeze isn't done with us yet. Meteorologist Colette Kennedy has more. Colette?
Thanks, Brittany. Yeah, I mean, that cold air is certainly entrenched. I mean, this is a look at what the temperatures were like from this morning, but I can tell you that in the wee morning hours, it wasn't minus 26, it was almost minus 30 for Winnipeg, and in fact, the wind chill around 2 a.m., minus 41, and we actually have some reinforcing cold air that's going to be coming in as we press into this week. Maybe not what you want to be hearing. I'll go into more detail on that coming up, but your forecast for tonight, minus 26, partly cloudy conditions, the winds fairly light out of the west. And then for tomorrow morning, minus 25, but keeping in mind, even with the light winds, because our wind chill's based off sustained winds and not gusts, it's going to feel like minus 35. So you want to make sure you and the kids are dressed accordingly. And then here we go into the afternoon, hopefully getting to that high of minus 18 with increasing cloudiness as the day wears on. Brittany?
All right. Thank you, Colette. Stay bundled up. Well, a Winnipeg spa is getting heat over recent customer surveys. Why some are calling it disrespectful. There's more on that straight ahead after the break. The City of Winnipeg has issued a new contract for homeless outreach services, changing how it's funded and what workers are expected to do. The new contract ties outreach services to the city's new encampment enforcement policy. But one outreach provider says they feel excluded. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
For homeless outreach workers in Winnipeg, the job is about to change. Under a new city contract, outreach teams are expected to work more closely with enforcement, helping carry out Winnipeg's encampment protocol, which restricts where tents can be set up. The new contract would replace last year's single-source agreement awarded to Main Street Project. Nearly $400,000 would be split between the east and west sides of the Red River. Outreach workers would be required to offer 24-hour coverage, give notice ahead of camp clearances, collect detailed data, and support cleanups.
The work has changed. That's why there's a new RFP. The city's new encampment protocol, which has been working very, very well, really it calls upon service providers to assist the city with enforcing that encampment protocol.
The rules, approved last fall, prioritize removals from parks, playgrounds, and other sensitive public places. The city's proposal states the new protocol would take precedence over the province's Your Way Home encampment to housing strategy if a conflict arises. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the new contract is designed to allow more than one organization to take part.
By splitting the work up, it allows us to utilize the skills of more than one potentially service provider.
St. Boniface Streetlinks has long handled outreach east of the Red River. Executive Director Marion Willis has been pushing the city for funding to continue that work. Under the new contract, funding for the east side would be roughly 1/3 of what's allocated to the west, despite similar expectations.
$90,000, that funds 2.5 positions on our outreach team. Tell me how 2.5 workers provide coverage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not even possible.
Willis also says new criminal record requirements would screen out members of her staff who have lived experience. The mayor says the city based the budget on previous funding levels, and ideally the amount of work should reduce over time.
The goal is to reduce the number of people living in encampments, and ultimately the goal is that there be less work to do.
Community organizations have until February to submit proposals. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Winnipeg spa is in hot water after releasing a survey asking participants if immigration threatens the purity of a country. The questionnaire has since been pulled and the company has apologized. But one customer says the questions were blatantly disrespectful. Santiago Arias Orozco has more.
After going to Thermea over the holidays, Amelia Latouche received a survey by email. It said the questionnaire was aimed at improving services in the spa. At first, questions were about Latouche's experience in Thermea, but later she was asked about her level of agreement with a number of statements, including one that reads, "Overall, there is too much immigration. It threatens the purity of the country," a statement Latouche believes is racist.
Simply the use of the term purity is just inextricably linked to fascism, and I think so highly problematic and scary.
Another statement asked her if society would be better off with more government involvement. Latouche says there might be a place where to ask questions about political or cultural beliefs, but this was a spa survey.
Giving people license to say things that are racist and to advance opinions that hurt people shouldn't be something that a company is allowed to do.
Latouche raised her concerns with Thermea. The spa's parent company, Groupe Nordique, apologized. It said the survey was developed in collaboration with the Center for Research on Public Opinion, but admitted the responsibility was ultimately theirs. In a statement to CBC, Groupe Nordique says they reviewed the survey in advance, but not with enough scrutiny. It also said the questions don't reflect their values. The survey was full, and Groupe Nordique says they will not use any of the data collected. CBC reached out to the Center for Research on Public Opinion, but it hasn't heard back. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba's largest hospital has unveiled a new machine used for minimally invasive brain surgery. The Gamma Knife is a high-precision device used to treat brain tumors and other brain disorders. Targeted radiation is delivered in a high concentration, minimizing the risk of damaging healthy tissue. HSC says it helps eliminate the need for incisions and open surgery.
In this room, something special, almost magical happens. A patient comes in with a brain tumor. They lie on that couch. They undergo a silent, painless operation with no incision, just the best possible treatment, and sometimes the only treatment available. And then an hour later, they're going back home to resume their lives, successfully treated with radiosurgery.
This gamma knife can treat larger tumors. More than 200 Manitobans have already been treated with the new machine since it arrived more than a year ago. Well, the latest snapshot on inflation is out, and yes, prices are going up for Canadians. Statistics Canada says the inflation rate rose slightly in December to 2.4%. That's up slightly from November. The year-over-year rise was driven largely by the end of Ottawa's GST holiday back in December of 2024. Of particular note, the price of coffee was up more than 30% last month, while the cost of beef rose 16.8%. Gasoline, however, in contrast, went down nearly 14%. Well, believe it or not, many people are loving these colder temperatures since they can get back out on the ice, and we aren't the only ones in the deep freeze. Let's check in with meteorologist Colette Kennedy.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, at least we're not in this alone. I mean, this is happening, this cold air across a good chunk of the country. The jet stream, really good source here to tell the story. Not only is that cold air pushing in across our country, but southward. And in fact, some cool temperatures for folks in Florida along the Panhandle, waking up to some flurries or a dusting of snowfall there. Hey, we've got the Arctic blast, and the coldest is actually off to the east of us. And I can show you in terms of what we can expect when you might possibly be looking at a situation with hypothermia. Because when we have air like this and temperatures like this and these wind chills, in less than 10 minutes, exposed skin can get into frostbite, but we also have to worry about hypothermia. Confusion would be one of the symptoms, shivering if you're around someone with difficulty speaking, or perhaps sleepiness, and finally, like those tight muscles, stiff muscles. And keeping in mind the very young and the elderly are going to be a little more vulnerable to these kinds of conditions. So a look at the afternoon temperatures, and at least, hey, into the teens in some cases, not all, for the minus 20s. And what we have really are a couple of Alberta clippers, but the pattern has been kind of pulling these southward before they really get into the province. We just have this trough to contend with, and it means tomorrow we will get into increasing cloudiness. There'll be some sunshine at times before that. But I mentioned earlier in the show some reinforcing cold air. Not only one cold front going through, but we will have a secondary cold front coming through this week as well. Most of the snow is going to stay back to the west of us. The more significant amounts, it's really just likely to be a dusting to a few centimeters through much of Manitoba. And looking at your day planner for tomorrow, what you can expect with those temperatures throughout the day, but always keeping in mind what that wind chill is going to be like as well. Hoping for that daytime high around minus 18. Do I not sound optimistic? No, I think we should get there after minus 26 tonight. And then looking through the next 5 days, there it is as we get behind that cold front, and especially that second cold front. Hey, we get some sunshine in here, but that cold air gets firmly entrenched and in fact reinforced. Brittany?
We have much more to come straight ahead. Stay with us. It's a war of words that may soon become a trade war. Donald Trump is ratcheting up the pressure on the international community to let him take over Greenland. But European leaders are not rolling over. Now, in addition to sending small contingents of troops to the Danish-owned island, they've called an emergency summit for later this week about the U.S. president's plan. That as they ponder whether Trump's aggression is linked to a certain peace prize. Chris Brown has the latest details.
More Danish boots on the ground arrived in Greenland, with Europe in full emergency mode over Donald Trump's threats to take over the island. A new text conversation is fueling the sense that his Greenland obsession may really be about sour grapes. Norway's prime minister texted in part to Trump, "We believe we all should work to take this down and de-escalate." Trump replied, "Considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace."
Donald Trump to a very
In fact, it's not Norway's government that hands out the prize.
I think the particular choice of words certainly relates to the fact that he's sort of a hissy fit about not getting the prize.
Despite the text being released and confirmed by Norway's government, Trump's Treasury Secretary was dismissive.
It's a complete canard that the president will be doing this because of the Nobel Prize.
Trump has said the U.S. needs title to Greenland, which is an autonomous territory of Denmark, to stop Russia or China from getting it. He's vowed to hit 8 European NATO nations who recently sent troops to Greenland with tariffs starting next month until he gets what he wants. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz underscored Europe has options for retaliation, with tariffs of its own or restrictions on U.S. businesses, as other leaders signaled a kind of reluctant resolve.
We are living in 2026. You can trade with people, but you don't trade people.
The right way to approach an issue of this seriousness is through calm discussion between allies.
Greenland not for sale! Trump's threats have generated strong anti-U.S. sentiments in Europe. At this NBA game in London Sunday night, a heckler's call out to leave Greenland alone got a rousing ovation. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Mark Carney is trying to determine how Canada should respond to Trump's latest threats. He's in Europe for the World Economic Forum, an international event the U.S. president will be attending as well. The CBC's Ashley Burke has more.
The Prime Minister has touched down here in Switzerland. This is Mark Carney's third and final stop on a trip that's taken him around the world, from China to Qatar and now to the Swiss resort town of Davos, to try and deepen ties with countries outside of the U.S. But as Carney tries to distance Canada from its southern neighbor, he could run into Donald Trump while he's here. They are both expected to speak at the World Economic Forum. This gathering of political and business leaders falls just days after the U.S. president threatened European allies with tariffs if they resist his desire to take over Greenland. Yesterday, Carney told us, journalists traveling with him, that he's concerned about this escalation. And Canadian officials tell CBC News that the Prime Minister is weighing a contingency plan to send a small group of troops to Greenland to take part in sovereignty exercises that the Danes are planning. Now, tomorrow, the Prime Minister is expected to meet with Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, a country currently facing Trump's tariff threats after it sent some troops to Greenland. So far, we are told that there is no official meeting between Trump and Carney scheduled, but Carney says that if he runs into the president, he'll tell him his view that the future of Greenland is up to Greenland and Denmark to decide. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Corton.
Investigators are looking into possible causes behind Sunday's collision of 2 trains in southern Spain. At least 40 people were killed in the crash and more than 120 injured. Briar Stewart has more on the crash and the aftermath.
Throughout the night, rescue crews worked to reach victims trapped in mangled rail cars. Spain's deadliest train accident in more than a decade violently unfolded on a remote stretch of tracks more than 300 kilometers south of Madrid. The impact was like a sudden blow, said Montse Ruiz. I was sitting in the last seats of the carriage and I was thrown around. Just before 8 p.m., 3 carriages on a train bound for the capital derailed toward the opposite side of the track. Within 20 seconds, a train heading southbound collided with the cars. Its front 2 carriages fell down a 3.5-meter embankment. At least 40 were killed and dozens more are in hospital. This woman, who only gave her first name Anna, was pulled out of the train by other passengers who broke through the windows. Some were fine and others were really bad. You could see them dying and you could do nothing. The government has vowed a thorough and transparent investigation. Unlike another deadly crash in Spain in 2013, when 80 people were killed after a speeding train derailed on a curve, the trains in this case were going under the speed limit. Officials say the crash happened on a stretch of high-speed track that was renovated in 2025. The country's transportation minister called the accident extremely strange.
It's an unusual derailment because derailments don't often happen on a straight track.
This rail safety expert says these types of accidents are very rare.
In a Western European country where the rail systems are very well developed, it is a shock, to be honest.
Spain has Europe's largest network of high-speed rail lines. And last year, the union representing Spanish train drivers had warned regulators that the rail infrastructure was deteriorating because of increased traffic. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
Some individuals who rely on service dogs are upset with Uber. They told our Go Public team some of the rideshare's drivers won't allow the animals in their cars, even though that's against the law. Sophia Harris looks at their experiences and the company's response.
Good boy. Let's go. Salome Solomon is legally blind, so she relies on 2 things to get around: her guide dog Zurich and Canada's dominant rideshare service, Uber.
You don't want to take me in? Yep. Okay, I'm going to send this video to Uber.
But Solomon says she's routinely turned away by Uber drivers who won't let Zurich in their car.
Why? It's a service dog. Every rejection breaks you down. So, for me, it basically hits deep, like it's like a dagger to my heart. Straight up.
In Canada, people with disabilities have a legal right to travel with a service animal, which Uber acknowledges in its own policy. But several riders told CBC's Go Public Uber drivers sometimes reject them.
You feel like a failure somehow, and somehow it's my fault because I'm disabled and I'm not good enough to be treated like everyone else.
James Wilkinson's service dog Bo helps him cope with his autism.
Up.
On the day CBC interviewed him, one Uber driver picked him up, but a second canceled his ride home.
You were walking across the street and the car drove away?
Yeah, it's happened so many times that it's just, well, there goes another one.
This disability advocate says inaccessible transport is a systemic problem in Canada, and Uber needs to do better.
Imagine the indignity of being told that your needs are not valid. We need people to be driving who are open and understanding of their obligations, fundamentally.
You can't deny me access.
We showed Solomon's videos to Uber.
It's humiliating, it's painful, and it's completely unacceptable. The only acceptable ride refusal number is 0. And that's the number that we're working to get to.
Uber says it has taken concrete action to combat the problem, like driver education, enhanced technology, and banning drivers who break the rules. But the company admits its work isn't done because some riders are still being left at the curb. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, it looks like the party's over for the craft beer industry, and not just because of dry January. Sales have been falling for a while, and the number of Canadian breweries is declining. Paula Duhatschek looks at why.
This beer maker says in his industry, change is brewing.
We've seen it across the board, whether it's changing in drinking styles or just where the economy's at, where definitely sales are down.
In a 5-year period, the number of breweries in Canada climbed to more than 1,100, but that number has flattened and last year shrank by nearly 3%, according to this analyst.
Seeing an end to that growth in and of itself is significant.
that the growth phase of the industry is over.
Some say it was bound to happen eventually.
For years and years, we saw this massive expansion that happened really, really quickly within the industry. And with that came a lot of new entrants, and not a lot of whom had really long-term business models.
Tastes and habits are also changing. Beer Canada says sales across the industry are down, and it says younger generations aren't drinking the way their parents did.
I know anecdotally, a lot of the people that I knew actually stopped drinking altogether, including myself.
This former brewery owner is back to working in finance after closing his doors in 2025. He says the decision was driven by a combination of factors: bad timing, funding challenges, and a change in their core customer.
We just had to cut our losses and unfortunately learn from it and move on.
What COVID did, I think, is changed people's entertainment habits. And so what it's meant for breweries is they've had to work much harder to get bums in chairs.
He says breweries are still finding success by learning to branch out.
Obviously, when we see the customer's taste change, that's like a big one for us and number one. So, we had to reevaluate what products we're making, what beers are going out the door.
These days, one of his top sellers isn't a beer at all. It's a craft iced tea. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
Well, it's steaming up televisions all around, but can TV show heated rivalry make changes in real-life locker rooms? We'll have more on that straight ahead. Parked semi-trucks and vehicles lined a stretch of the Trans-Canada Highway just outside Winnipeg for several hours on Sunday. Transport officials closed a nearly 150-kilometre section due to blowing snow and dangerous driving conditions. CBC's Gavin Axelrod spoke to drivers who were stuck.
Blowing snow and low visibility led to the closure of this stretch of Highway 1 near Headingley. On Sunday afternoon, traffic was at a standstill, with dozens of trucks lined up, waiting for the go-ahead to hit the road again.
I'm sitting here from, I think, 2 to 3 hours.
Manpreet Singh was on his way to Edmonton.
Yeah, if you drive slowly and according to the condition, it's safe. If you making rush, then it will be definitely hurt you.
The Trans-Canada Highway was one of many highways that were closed Sunday because of the bad road conditions. Ashish Sud took an Uber to his shift at a cannabis store along the highway. He says the owner called and told him he could take the day off if he couldn't make it, but he was already on the way.
We were in the road and it's like zero visibility in that road, like Highway 1, and I'm here now.
It was starting to set in for others. They weren't going anywhere anytime soon.
After seeing this, I think like everyone is going to be late.
It's bad. So it's really bad. Yeah, I didn't realize actually.
Blowing snow also led to the closure of several highways in the province days earlier, including the Trans-Canada, where RCMP said there were several crashes. On Friday, Jerry Archibald and his friend were making their way to Saskatchewan when they were involved in a collision.
And all of a sudden, on the inside lane, there was cars piling up in front of us, and we slowed and braked to the left to go around.
That's when their vehicle was rear-ended by a semi-truck. Archibald says they avoided injuries, kept on going, and is glad it wasn't worse.
Knowing that how small we are in a minivan and how big that machine is, and there's very little to do, we were very vulnerable.
Manitoba RCMP are warning drivers to be careful when driving through the changing weather conditions, and that driving on closed highways is also illegal and comes with a minimum fine of $298 and 2 demerit points on a driver's license. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, that blowing snow causing all those problems last weekend and last week. Meteorologist Colette Kennedy, and now with a look at this week ahead.
Thanks, Brittany. Yeah, I was saying earlier in the show, does it make it a little better sometimes when you know you're not in it alone, such a wide area and into the cold air? But the worst of it actually into northern Ontario. But you can see some of those temperatures these are from last hour. Obviously a little milder. Yeah, still experiencing that back towards the west coast. But let's now factor in the wind chills. And Thomas feeling like minus 36 and Winnipeg, yeah, feeling like minus 30. So we have had some nice conditions in terms of a ridge of high pressure, but a trough that's going to be moving in means that tomorrow as the day wears on, we'll get into increasing cloudiness. These clipper systems, because they're riding that jet stream, with that, it does mean it's pushing them kind of south of the border before they can get into the province. And so we get the cloud cover, maybe some light flurries or light snow, but the more significant stuff stays to the west of us or drops southward. So as we head into Wednesday, there's some of that increasing cloudiness as that first front, well, we get the clouds tomorrow, but gets reinforced on Wednesday. But that first front goes through, but watch out for the second one. So the cold air is filtering in, but then it really doubles down and gets reinforced. I was mentioning, yeah, the heavier snowfall stays to the west, Regina perhaps over 10 centimeters, and a dusting to a few centimeters through the Inner Lakes region and into southern Ontario. You're hour by hour as we look at how things are going to roll out tomorrow. From the morning hours to the afternoon, it's kind of a change of maybe 3 to 5 centimeters in 5 degrees in general is what we'll experience in terms of the warm-up from the morning into the afternoon hours. Early tomorrow morning, yeah, this model's going slightly cooler. Hey, take that to heart than I am by a couple of degrees in some cases, like for Winnipeg, the Red River Valley, but it is, we know, going to be a chilly one to start things off. So let's warm our hearts with Walter. Thanks to Barbara for sending this sweetheart in. Hey, this is his second winter, only his second winter. They're all dressed up, ready to head out to Parkway Square for their morning walk. What a sweetheart there. And how about for your morning walk tomorrow or for your pooch? Yeah, just because of the cold, I put some yellow paws on there to start the day until things kind of get going a little bit. But even when they get going, it is a chilly one, Brittany.
All right, thank you, Colette. Well, the NHL is the only major men's pro sports league in North America to never have an active or retired player come out publicly. But a new show is helping shift that conversation. Canadian-made series Heated Rivalry follows the fictional romance between two closeted male hockey stars, and it's having an impact in locker rooms and the league.
It's not just the queer community who's talking about it, it's locker rooms everywhere, and it's people within sport. I talk to a lot of different sports across a lot of different places, and almost always the first thing on these calls or in meetings is like, hey, I got to see the show. And so it's been really kind of catching fire within the sport community. I think it just kind of goes to show that there's interest and there is a community out there for these stories, and then of course how these stories link into the sports that we all know and love.
I know that you were recently at a Pride Night, a hockey game in Seattle, and you saw an interesting reference to the show. What were you noticing at this game?
Oh yeah, my favorite new sign at NHL games is "I'm here because of two gay guys on a show on HBO," and I think just goes to show that there's a community out there that wants to be actively welcomed into hockey, and when welcomed, will come. And I think that's really the theme with any community and with any sport. When you specifically go out and I can see myself in this sport, I can feel like I could belong here, I'm going to come and I'm going to enjoy it. We all know hockey's an amazing sport. We love it. Those of us who are passionate about it absolutely will share about it, but it's up to us to also then bring in new communities to the game. And I think, Heated Rivalry has just shown that this does work, which is kind of the work that we do every day with hockey and other sports as well.
This is also happening, though, at the same time as hockey culture and inclusion has been in the news a lot over the past few years, from the Hockey Canada sexual assault trial to the NHL briefly banning Pride tape and then Pride Night jerseys as part of, they call it an updated uniform policy. Do you see any opportunity for change on the heels of Heated Rivalry's major success?
You hope, of course, that that's the case. And NHL led the way for being the first men's league that had Pride Nights across all of their teams back in 2013, 2014. So, credit to them for doing this work early on. I think this is showing that there is actual, and again, the data will bear this out. When you show people that you are welcome within a sport actively, they will come to that sport. Love buys more tickets and brings more people in. Hate and exclusion is less. And I think that's just the simple equation that this is. And I think the NHL is taking notice. Of course, they've already seen some press releases come out from that. But this is really the message across all the clubs and the league itself, which is when you show people that a open door, they will walk through it into your sport. I sincerely hope that this is just step one, and they can see that an external source of entertainment was one of these steps. But the more that we do as a league, as teams, it's going to actively bring more people in. And so hopefully this is just scratching the surface of what will come.
I've heard the critique from some folks in the queer community that it's maybe not fair for the NHL to try and profit off the success of a show like this. What's your thought when it comes to that?
Yeah, I get that, and I understand certainly how they feel that way. We've been doing this work since 2011, 2012, so it's been a long, hard road, frankly, in order to then convince sports and organizations that specific work to then outreach to community is going to then bring those folks into sport and make them feel welcome, give them a place within sports. So it's not an easy work to do. Every day there's things that are setting us back. More recently, we've seen policy, we've seen legislation, we've seen things that have really been working against us in this world. But I do think that anything we can do to keep convincing clubs, teams, leagues, and not just at that elite professional level, it's also about our local community down the street. That's where somebody's either going to show up at second grade and feel welcome or not. And so that's really where the work needs to get done more than anywhere else. But absolutely, I hope this is the message and the many more messages yet to come, that as soon as you show people a place where they belong in sport, they will come and they will be with you, and they will be fans, and they will hopefully be season ticket buyers, and they will buy the jerseys, and they will show up and hopefully play themselves. And so I think this is just the very first step, hopefully, on many more stories to come like this, because it's shown the popularity of how this can be something that we all harness onto, not just the queer community. This is for anybody who's a hockey fan or a fan of love.
What do you hope is the lasting result of all this excitement and all the eyes that are on Heated Rivalry?
we may have a player that comes out at some point at the NHL level, but truly the lasting result we want to see is that, again, that child shows up to hockey and is welcomed for who they are. A young person who's already been playing hockey, but potentially, learning more about themselves, they can share that with their teammates and with their coach and their community without feeling the worry that I'm going to be kicked out of hockey or kicked out of my sport. And so, of course, the lasting effect of this is you can come and you can play your sport because you love your sport. And you're not going to be welcomed or not because of your sexuality. It's going to be welcomed no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. And that's really our dream, of course, for sport overall.
Still ahead, well, it's snowing here and snow boots in Manitoba. Elsewhere, it's already spring flowers. We'll take you there after the break. Plus, Colette is back with the last check on our forecast. This is Manitoba. And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Manitoba, streaming now. He was an icon of the fashion world, a man known internationally by just his first name, Valentino. The Italian haute couture designer died Monday at the age of 93. Valentino Garavani started his luxury fashion house back in 1960 and was the first Italian designer to be featured on the Paris catwalks. He often said he knew what women wanted, and his sumptuous understated gowns, including in his trademark shade of Valentino red, were adored by A-listers around the world. Valentino died at his home in Rome and will be lying in state in the Italian capital until his funeral on Friday.
Hey, welcome back. You know, I always like to give good news if there's any that I can. I can't really do that with the temperatures, but I can say that as we look at the long range, we have some sunshine. We will get into quite a bit of that towards the end of the week and into the weekend. And not only that, the heavier snow does stay to the west of us. So we're talking about Wednesday, maybe getting a centimeter or two. But that second cold front, the first one comes through, and you can see Thursday, the temperature's cooling down, but even further as we head into the end of the week there. And so by the weekend, yeah, some of the coldest conditions Saturday in the morning at -35 and by afternoon -27. But there's that sun shining, Brittany.
All right, thanks, Colette. Well, we may be knee-deep in winter here, but the Netherlands is seeing its first signs of spring. That's tonight's Daily Lift. Thousands of people flocked to a square in Amsterdam over the weekend to celebrate National Tulip Day with a free pick-your-own-garden. Dutch tulip growers gave away 200,000 flowers to those in attendance. The Netherlands is the world's largest producer of cut tulips. The country also sends Canada 20,000 bulbs every year as a symbol of the enduring friendship between the two nations. Just beautiful. Hopefully we will see tulips here 1 week soon. That's all for us here tonight. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.